Welcome back to my channel. She won't tell you this. She'll keep it buried beneath sarcastic texts and half smiles. She'll act like she didn't notice what you said, how you looked at her, how close you stood when you spoke. But her body noticed, her nervous system noticed. Her soul noticed because, whether she says it out loud or not, a woman knows when a man is flirting in a way that feels different. Not like they boys who try too hard. Not like the men will perform, brag, or talk their way into attention, but in the way that's quiet, controlled, charged, like electricity under the surface of calm. Most men flirt to get a response. A stoic man flirts to create a feeling, and that's what she never forgets. It's not the words that linger, it's the sensation. It's the way her heart quickens when he looks at her without smiling, but with intention. It's the way. He listens not to respond, but to see her. It's the calm confidence in the way. He stands the way he doesn't chase, the way he doesn't need anything from her. And yet, his presence shifts her whole mood. You see, most men rely on was clever lines, exaggerate status. But the flirting she secretly loves is the kin that doesn't scream for her attention, pulls it without trying, without force, without desperation. It's the eye contact that holds without clinging. This slight smirk that says, "I see you the way." He walks away first, leaving her thinking, wondering, craving. And the truth is, a woman's desire doesn't lie. Fine what you say. It lives in what you withhold, in what you imply, without explaining in the tension between what's said and what's left unsaid. This video is not for men who want quick tricks. It's for the man becoming unshakable. The man who leads with presence. The man will understand that the most seductive akin of flirting is restraint. Because when a stoic man flirts, it's not to impress her. It's to awaken something in her she didn't even know she was waiting. Tofil ready to become that man. Let's be in flirting, or most men. That word brings up images of corny pickup lines, awkward smiles, or a loud performance of false confidence. For others, it's a game of overcompensating, trying to impress her with status, jokes, or charm that comes off more anxious than attractive. But here's the truth. Women don't fall for noise. They fall for the man who can create electricity and silence. A man who doesn't perform bite projects. A man who doesn't try to prav his worth because he embodies it. You see, women are wired to respond, Toner. Not the energy you shiver in, but the energy you hold in your core. It's in your presence, your stillness, your ability to stay, center, wane. Other men are desperate for validation, she notices. Even if she pretends not to, she notices the way. Yao enter the room. Not rushed, not needy, not scanning for attention. She noticed, show you speak not too much, not too fast, but with precision. She'll notice, show you don't look away quickly when your eyes meet hers, but you also don't leer. She notices when you don't jump at free opportunity to talk because you don't chase moments, you choose them. That is flirting. Not the kind that gets or temporary interest. Again, that lives in her memory long after this conversation ends. A stoic man understands this. He doesn't flirt for tune. He flirts with restraint, with gravity, with self-command. He understands that real flirting isn't about saying the right thing. It's about creating an experience. It's the emotion, then the words, the silence between sentences, the subtext that says, I didn't need you, but I'm fully present with you. That kind of man doesn't. Givetto tell a woman he's confident. She chef feels it. He doesn't try to make her law, but when he finally does, it means something. He doesn't comply in third appearance immediately, but when Heffanoli gives a compliment, it cuts deep. He doesn't fumble over his words because it speaks only when he means to. This is not about manipulation. This is a boot mastery. It's about emotional discipline, masculine presence, and energetic leadership. And the woman hostess done the inner work. The woman hostess matured beyond surface level validation. She's not turned on by the guy who tries too hard. She's drawn most magnetically to the man who moves like he knows who he is. That's what we're building in this video. Not just another list of flirting tips, but a deeper understanding of how to lead with presence and create tension without ever bang theatrical. Because when a stoic man flirts, he doesn't just get her attention. He awakens her curiosity, her femininity, her desire. And the best part, she'll never even be able to explain why. She'll just feel it and remember you. Let's begin. 1. Eye contact that doesn't flinch. The silent language of power. Most men either stare too long and make her uncomfortable, or they look away too quickly in seminure. But a stoic man knows how to hold eye contact with calm precision. He doesn't scan the room. He doesn't break into pressure. When his eyes meet hers, there's no question of his intent. Escom will present. This kind of eye contact communicates something primal. A message that says, I see you. I'm not chessing, but I'm aware. Women are biologically wired to respond to tongue and verbal cues, and the eyes, once steady and relaxed, transmit strength. They convey, I don't need you, but I see value in you. She will look away first, smile slightly, maybe touch her neck, but she remember the way your re made her feel. That kind of look lingers, not because of what you did, but because of what you withheld. This eye contact says, I've seen storms and survived them. It shows that you don't fear connection, but you also don't crave approval. When your gaze is steady, it creates mystery. She starts to wonder what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what kind of man you earn underneath the calm. This, the energy behind your stillness, creates a feeling she won't be able to shake. She'll go home thinking about it, replaying it, feeling something unexplainable. That's power. 2 subtle touches that respect her space. The language of safe masculinity. This isn't about being physical for the sake of being physical. Stoic, flirting grass, spicked boundaries while express in genial presence. A light brush off the hand when passing her something. A grounded touch on her back when guiding her through a crowd. The kind of touch thought says I'm here. I lead with care, not hunger. How you touch, if it's rushed or careless, it signals desperation. But if it's grounded, steady, brief, and respectful, it activates her in ways shadows even understand. You're not claiming her space. You're adding calm to it. Your touch should feel like amymentary pulse, subtle enough to fax accidental, but firm enough to linger in her nervous system. It's not about lust, it's about leadership through energy. 3 playful challenges. Disrupting her script without losing respect. Master guys agree with everything she says. They nod. They laugh too loud. They validate without question. But a stoic man knows better. He chalice plately not to win, but to engage. When she says, I'm always right, you smile and respond. That explains a lot. When she flirts, you smirk and reply. Is that your best move? You're not trying to insult. You're creating dynams. You're not intimidated by her charm. You won't fold under her social presence. This Crotessa dance attention she feels on a deeper level. She begins to respect you more as you don't seek her validation. You challenge her to meet you as Annie Quell, and that psychologically stirs attraction. 4 intentional pauses. The power of charged silence. Women list in between your words. They feel your emotional rhythm. And the man one knows how to pause who doesn't rush. Toss peak creates mystery, confidence, and grounding. When you respond too fast, it's often reactive. But when you pause, breathe, think, then respond. She feels that your intentional gives weight to your words, to allows her space to reflect, and that space created traction. Silence is an awkward eye for at peace with yourself. A Stoic man isn't afraid of empty space because he's full internally. And when she leans into you, 5 complainants that reflect depth, not surface-level observations. Beautiful, Eskimo. Gorgeous is everywhere. But when you say you have a way of making people feel calm, or there's something in your presence that's grounding, it cuts through the noise. Women are used to being noticed for how they look. What they crave is being seen for who they're when your compliment reveals something beyond the surface, something she didn't even know she was showing. She'll never forget it. Create emotional intimacy. She associates your presence with being understood. 6. Leaving on a high note, the art of emotional echo. Most men stay too long. They overextend. But a Stoic man knows when to walk away. When the inner guy peaks, when she's smiling, when thelator is fresh, that's when he exits. This tactic leaves her wanting more. I see while you're not there for endless validation. You know the moment and you're spected enough to protect it. You didn't dilute your presence by staying gal. The spark fades. You end her action before it overextends, leaving her with a positive high-energy emotional imprint. And that lingering dare, it will bring her back, whether with a message, a glance, or a conversation that starts with "I was just thinking about you." 7. Flirting through presence, a teat signal of strength. You don't need flashy moves or loud jokes or vulva top confidence. A Stoic man flirts with his presence. He listens deeply, speaks only when it matters. He still entered. And in that stillness, women feel safe in a world that's constantly shouting, "He's a man who whispers, not with his voice, but with his being." And that's the most seductive form of flirting a woman will ever experience. These aren't tactics, they're reflections of who you are. You don't need to act. You just need to lean. Because when you embody presence, restraint, and grounded confidence, shadows just notice you. She remembers Sui. Even long after you're gone, if you've made it this far, you're not like most men. You're not chasing gimmicks. You're not chasing women. You're chasing mastery of yourself, your energy, your presence. And that's rare. Flirting isn't about saying the perfect line. It's about becoming the kind of man who doesn't need to try so hard because of whole thing about him. From his silence, his gaze to his emotional rhythm already speaks volumes. Women don't remember the men who shouted the loudest. They remember the men who moved with calm confidence, the ones who could flirt without saying much, the ones who didn't need to be noticed because their presence was impossible to ignore. So, if you're ready to become that man, to live with stillness, flirt with intention, and lead from a place, inner power, you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button right now. Join a brotherhood of men who don't play games. They master themselves. Tap Felic button if this video resonated with your soul. Not for validation, but to reinforce the movement we're building. One man at a time. And if you know a friend who's still out there chasing attention, send this to him. Be case-made. What he needs isn't more advice, it's alignment. This is Master Stoic. Men become forces of nature, where women feel drawn, not chased, and where power comes not from what you say, but from what you hold. See you in the next tone, brother. Stay grounded, stay dangerous. They